So we have made an analysis of Sonnet 130, and we're going to start off by commenting on the structure of the sonnet. And it's a Shakespearean sonnet because it has 14 lines, 3 quatrains, and 1 couplet. And we have given the quatrains and the couplet some headlines. And the first quatrain is called The Nature is More Beautiful Than Her. And the second one is called The Mistress is Imperfect. And the third one is called I Love My Mistress, But. And the couplet is called Imperfection is Perfection. It follows the iambic pentameter, and it's a early modern English sonnet because it has some words that we don't use today, such as damasked, and also it follows the ABAB rhyme.
And the next thing we can look at is who is the poem addressed to. And this poem is clearly addressed to the Dark Lady. But then we can look at who is the Dark Lady. Here we can look at the first word dark because it has 2 meanings. The first meaning is the color of the skin, and the second meaning is her dark personality. So, but in this case we can clearly see that it's the color of her skin because in one of the lines it says, if hairs be wires black, wires grow on her head. And this mean that she might have an African hairstyle, and that's why her hair is like wires. But at the same time, 3 different women are mentioned when talking about the Dark Lady. One of the first woman is Mary Fitton, and she was maid of honor to Queen Elizabeth. And the second woman is Emilia Lanier, and she was a mistress to one of Shakespeare's patrons. And the last one is Penelope Rich, when she was also someone that is Shakespeare knew. So those are the 3 women that might be the Dark Lady, but at this point it could also be a woman who is a prostitute and is of black descent.
And moving on to themes, this sonnet deals with themes such as imperfect versus perfect, and it can clearly be seen in the way that the poet sort of describes the lady in the poem. He sort of describes her in a way that is imperfect and sort of shows how different she is, and but in the end, in the couplet, he sort of sums it up and says, I still love her, even though she's all of these things. Yeah, and again, the themes are perfection versus imperfection and different types of love. Like
Shakespeare uses some, but not many literary techniques to make our understanding of the Sonnet 130 even better, and he uses a lot of metaphors like coral is far more red than her lips red, if snow be white, white then her breasts are done, and so on and so forth. So his metaphors focus a lot on the nature. So he compares his mistress to the nature. He also uses similes. In the couplet, for instance, he says, I think my love as sure as any she belied with false compare. And that's also a way to extend our understanding of the sonnet. He also uses enjambment, which is a way to force the reader to read further. And the way he does that is, for example, I grant I never saw a goddess go, my mistress, when she walks streets on the ground. And when he says I grant I never saw a goddess go, it's like this sentence is not ended, so you are forced to read more to know what he actually means. So his sonnet becomes more interesting when he uses enjambment.
Well, Sonnet 130 is about the Dark Lady, just like the sonnets 127 to 154. Yeah, it's about the Dark Lady, and it sort of describes her and her dark and twisted personality. But compared to Sonnet 129, Sonnet 130 is more fluffy and leaves the reader with a good feeling. And yeah, whereas Sonnet 129 is more dark and breaks the iambic pentameter and rhythm throughout the sonnet. And and if we compare this sonnet with the procreation sonnets, it doesn't deal with themes such as financial abundance, ravages of time, or homoerotic desires. But however, it deals with themes such as pure love and a simple form of love.